Oh man, guess what? It's Jurassic World time, dude. Whenever a new legend gets spoiled, all the joy, all the pain, all the love in my heart, they burst forth and I create a video. After I see a doctor about all that bursting, brother. Whenever I see a black, blue, and green commander, I always sit up and take notice, you know what I'm saying? I love this color combination. It has all my favorite things, and the pillars on which you build a commander deck are within easy reach. You have excellent draw, excellent ramp, and removal right at your fingertips. If there's one thing I love, it's mutants, dude. Ever since the movie Weird Science, man, where Kelly LeBrock, she summons forth some of the mutants from Mad Max to a high school party. If you haven't seen that movie, just go take a look right now, dude. Turn off this video, abandon your family, run out and get a copy. Weird Science. Anthony Michael Hall's in there too. Anyways, man, Indominus Rex from the movie Jurassic Park and somehow now Magic the Gathering has been spoiled, and we're going to dive right in, brother. First, like, subscribe, leave a comment. Every little bit helps, and I appreciate everyone out there who's ever stopped by to say hello. Look at this beast, dude. We got Indominus Rex Alpha. One and a hybrid Demir, green for a legendary creature, dinosaur mutant. It's a 6/6. As Indominus Rex Alpha enters the battlefield, discard any number of creature cards. Enters with a flying counter on it if the card discarded this way has flying. The same is true for first strike, double strike, death touch, hexproof, haste, indestructible, lifelink, menace, reach, trample, and vigilance. When this guy enters the battlefield, draw a card for each counter on it. It's a pretty weird casting cost, but is centered in green. We can skip either black or blue mana, but green has great fixing. We don't need to worry too much about that, brother. Now, the cool thing about throwing cards in the yard is that you can easily reanimate them with Black's Reanimation Suite, dude. I'm not going to go crazy about that here, but that's going to be a main theme of the Alpha Dog here. The other thing to note about this card is the draw card for each counter on it doesn't specify where those counters come from. So if you have a card like Master Biomancer out there, he's got the ability each other creature you control enters the battlefield with a number of an additional +1/+1 counters on it equal to Master Biomancer's power and is a mutant in addition to its other types. Already a mutant, brother. You're drawing counters in addition to the cards you draw for the counters you put on with its own ability. The other thing to note here is that it's an enters the battlefield ability. So take a card like Teferi's Time Twist, right? It's 1 in the blue for an instant, exile target permanent you control, return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. If it enters the battlefield as a creature, it enters with an additional +1/+1 counter on it, right? This can help you dodge removal and reset your commander's ETB abilities with an additional counter. Hey man, have you ever heard of Spark Double? I talk about it literally every video because it's an awesome card and it just got reprinted. You can use cards like this to get an additional ETB trigger and add an extra counter. This thing's like $4 a present, brother. And you got cards like the old Professor Venom Thorpe here, 1 green and a blue for a creature Tyranid. It's 2/2, flying, death touch, hexproof, man. Cheap, efficient early drop. That's a sweet mutant if I ever saw one, brother. You want to look for cards that have a bunch of these keywords to discard when you cast your commander. And oh man, this is the perfect deck for the Scavenge Brawler. I really like this card. 6 generic mana for an artifact creature construct. It's a 4/4, but it has flying, vigilance, trample, and lifelink, dude. Has 5, exile it from your graveyard, choose target creature, put 4 +1/+1 counters on it, a flying counter, vigilance counter, trample counter, and a lifelink counter. Activate only as a sorcery. Damn, and this guy has an ability you can activate right from the graveyard, dude. It's also a decent reanimation target, maybe not the best, you know? I love it, dude. Oh, then we have cards like the old standby, dude, the Baleful Strix. Blue and a black for an artifact creature bird, man. It's a 1/1 with flying and death touch, dude. I'm scared of this bird. When this guy enters the battlefield, draw a card. This guy is a party in any deck, man. He's a flying blocker that can be discarded to draw 2 cards. Give your commander flying and death touch. Look at this beast, dude. This is actually just a portrait of old Nikki G, man. Triplicate Titan is 9 generic mana for an artifact creature Golem. It's a 9/9. Has flying, vigilance, and tramp stamps. When this guy dies, create a 3/3 colorless Golem artifact creature token with flying, 1 with vigilance, and 1 with trample, dude. For each of the 3 heads, man. This old fella is a fantastic reanimation target that gets things done. What a beast. Yeah, man, in these colors, the list goes on and on and on. I dig the design on this thing. It's got a great stat line for 5 mana plus that bonkers ability. Reminds me a little bit of the old Mimeoplasm, dude, which would not be a bad include in this deck. Mimeoplasm is a great reanimation spell. If your commander gets removed too much, you can just get this animal to dig him out of the graveyard. I think people forget about old Mimeoplasm because he's not the new hotness anymore, dude. But same thing with this guy, Brokos Apex of Forever. You ever see this beast? 2 black, green, and a blue for a legendary creature, Nightmare Beast Elemental. It's a 6/6. Has Mutate for 2, and god, I can't even read that casting cost. Very similar to the commander. A hybrid Demir and a green dude has Trample. You may cast Brokos, Apex of Power from your graveyard using its mutate ability. So you discard him to Indominus, then mutate him back onto a Mana Dork or something. Dude, mutate him onto a Elysian Caryatid. This guy is only a buck and has a dang tree on his head. Can't beat that, brother. Listen, man, I pulled the art for this thing and I had no idea how hot she was, dude. I'll put it right at the end of the video. Damia Sage of Stone, 4 black, green, and a blue for a legendary creature Gorgon Wizard. It's a 4/4 with Death Touch. Skip your draw step at the beginning of your upkeep. If you have fewer than 7 cards in hand, draw cards equal to the difference. I didn't realize this was $7, dude. This is a crazy reanimation target and can replace herself if you discard her to the commander's ability. And don't forget about this guy, Yarok the Desecrated, 2 black, green, and a blue for a legendary creature Elemental Horror. It's a 3/5 with Death Touch and Lifelink. If a permanent entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. And of course, this guy makes your commander trigger twice, which is fantastic. This guy has a spider web for a head, dude. I don't know what's up with that. That's better commander, dude. This old horror got a reprint in Multiverse Legends and is only $2 as we speaketh. Packing in ETB effects makes this guy more potent, but also he has Death Touch and Lifelink, so discarding it will make the commander a little hard to block, dude. So you're building your deck, dude. You gotta back all this up with removal, interaction, and you're in business, dude. You may want to include creatures with keywords that do that, like the old Titan of Industry. 4 green, green, green for a creature elemental to 7/7 with reach and trample. When this guy enters the battlefield, choose 2. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. I like that. Target player gains 5 life. You can give your friend 5 life if you're feeling magnanimous, dude. Create a 4/4 green Rhino Warrior creature token, or put a shield counter on a creature you control to protect your commander, dude. Dang, this does a lot for $3, and you can pitch it and give your commander reach and tramp stamps. I like the Titan of Industry. It's just a dang build and smashing up a bunch of dudes out there. You got the Overcharged Amalgam. I don't know if anybody loves this card as much as I do. It's 2 blue, blue for a creature Zombie Horror. It's 3/3 with flash and flying, has Exploit. When this creature enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice a creature. When it exploits a creature, counter target spell, activated ability, or triggered ability. This is another one that's 25 cents, dude. It saved my bacon so many times, man. It's so broad. And it's on a creature with a passive ability that can give your commander flying if you discard it. Now, this commander kind of makes cards like Evacuation a little better, dude. Usually people reach for Cyclonic Rift, but I think in this case, man, you want to return the creatures to your own hand so you can pitch them to your commander's ability. You have Evacuation 3 blue blue for a instant. Return all creatures to their owner's hands, dude. Look at that, man. This guy's just reaching down to a chessboard and scooping up all them bros. About to evacuate my bowels, dude. Anyways, man, take a look at Damia here, dude. I didn't realize she was such a fox, man, because the art on the card is so small. Anyways, the list goes on and on here for Indominus Rex, and it's a joyous list to contemplate. I'm going to be building this fella in the future. It's got crazy mechanics, ton of value for 5 mana. Stay tuned for more. Snicky G from Better Commander, signing off.